Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Leiluy nishmat Miriam. Welcome to all the guests with us today. Rabbi Isai, it's time for Akar Satoiv. We have with us Zevi Belski, Shalom Aleichem, from thechairmarket.com. Chaya, to you, Zevi. Zevi is very, very instrumental behind the scenes. He's the one that runs the whole show over there. Beautiful chairs, very comfortable chairs. The Elan really, really appreciates it. So Yishkoyach, thank you. Tiskil mitzvahs. And that's your, behind you, that's Avi Factor. Almost every share. What's the name of the site again? Thechairmarket.com. With a Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Reb Victor Bieberman from London. Shalom Aleichem. And we have Bochum in the back. Where are you guys from? All from Bet Shemesh. Where you We're
from Dallas, Texas.
All of you or just you? Dallas, Texas. Psh. Wow. What's your names? Givali, you're here in Yeshiva?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Who else? A guest? Anybody? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. Wow, boy, boy, get over here. Come here, bar mitzvah boy. No tachlin today. You're right.
What's a good song?
Shalom Aleichem, mazel tov, mazel tov. Where do you live? You live here in Batsheva? Wow, beautiful. You should learn a lot of torah. You should be a good yid. You got a bracha for me today? You want to give me a bracha, a little one? I should give a good cheer today. Give me a bracha. Thank you. Thank you.
Song was made for the Bells Rebbe's son's bar mitzvah.
Ah, yeah. It's a bar mitzvah song. Yeah. So we have 4 more donors to the monthly. Stephen Tao, 52. Robert Weiss, 26. Steve Jakubowski from Lakewood, one of my good chaverim, 52. Avram Weinrib, 36. Sounds 52, 26, 52, 36. Equals $2,000. That's the cheshbon. 52 every month. Another 52. Gevaldik. Yishkoyach Gadol. Changing my teaching. I'm sending this just so that you can see how your way of teaching is trying to be copied and used in the classroom as well. If you're going to watch it, download it. I did, but I couldn't get it on air. It should work on PowerPoint. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Very nice slides on Sukkah, Yeshana, on other types of Sukkahs. Should give you an idea how I'm using your style. I stuck in Sukkah Yeshana. You don't need to show the shears since I'm still getting bushes over the video, but I just wanted to give you chizuk that your style obviously works and enjoyed. Moshe Steinberg, the Rebbe. Dear Belly, my family from Chicago and all of you are Mabit Shemesh for my grandson's Benzin's bar mitzvah celebration on Wednesday night. Chalamoyed Mazel Tov. No, I'm just kidding. I've been doing the Daf with you since Megillah and attend the Siyum you did here in Muncie. My son Rabbi Ari Marinelli and myself, the bar mitzvah boy, would like to attend the shir in person. Please let me know when and where the shir will be held Thursday morning. Chalamoyed. Thank you. Shana Tova, Rich Marinelli, Pomona, New York. Some good old MDY fashion. We have no idea where it's going to be. We know that a few breakfasts are going to be in my sukkah. How many and which ones, we don't know yet.
Make sure they listen to the shir the day before.
Yeah, you got to listen to the shir to be. But they're going to be. It's going to be gevaldik. It's going to be wine. There's going to be omelets. There's going to be pancakes, and there's going to be bagels and lox and orange juice. Here in Eretz Yisrael, this is big. This is big commodities. Some cakes, shmak. Oh, we're also going to have one in my sukkah. Sponsored and completely catered by Benzia Novak, who's done it 2 years in a row with his guys Mishpacha. Right? Benzi, all the way in the back, sitting in the corner. Our official, here he is. Where is he? You can't get him. Who's blocking him? No, he's in. You have to go from that camera. He's in the door. He's in the doorway. He knows what to say. I don't know. Probably no. So the first day we might take off. The first day because it's still Chalamayit. It's still Yantav for the Americans. First day Chalamayit 4. That's the best one. All right. So Be'ezer Hashem and Yosef Biliak Sukkah. We're doing one for the Israelis. He just offered Yishkoyach. I love how people offer my son. Just do it for the Israelis. Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
At least one time a year, show us that you love us also instead of running to America.
Oh, never. So Zevi's working on some sukkah in Yerushalayim, maybe so the Americans don't have to be matriach chas v'shalom come all the way through. It's geschmack over here in Batsheva. All right, Rob Arnold says, I'd like to join Shnai Mikra this year and was wondering if the Sefer is also available in Israel. Thanks. I have no idea. We have to ask Miran Nakash. But it's a great reminder. Whoever wants to could start Shnai Mikra, whether you get a free Sefer, you don't get a free Sefer. In America, you get a free Shnai Mikra. Huh? It will be here in Eretz Yisrael in about a week. Start. By the time you get the Shmois, we'll have it for you. Reb Eli, I'm a regular participant on your online Daf Yomi shir. I really appreciate all your amazing hard work you put in the kind of graphics, delivery. This past year, when I was in Eretz Yisrael, I made a special trip to Harvard to personally come see you, experience your live shir, where I met you in person, photo included. I was blown away by the entire experience. I'm a professional band leader, singer, musician in Lawrence, New York. I recently recorded the song appropriate for this time of year. For the holiday of Yom Kippur, if you want to play a small part of this clip before the next year, the Olam may enjoy this audio clip attached. Machasima Toiva, Nafshenu Orchestra, Aaron Applebaum. Yeah, I'll play for a minute. Let's see if we can get it. Hold on, I want to, sorry. I want it to fast forward. How do you do that? No?
Aaron Applebaum produced Destiny.
Do you really?
Destiny.
How do I want to get into that thing and fast forward to the middle.
Destiny. Yeah. No. He's a big guy.
Okay, I don't know. Weitergegangen? Oh, gotta start shit, you're right. Okay. Maybe tomorrow I'll have the, it's a nice song. It's,
Very nice.
yeah, you're right. Da da da, da da da. We have two producers here. We have Mendy Oyerbach. We have Reb Nachman Seltzer. All right, okay, fine. 7:30. Rabbi said we're holding the middle of a sugi here. Daf Amud Beis. Sponsors. Oh, so for sure we can't play the music now. By the Lock and Lebovic families living in Jersey because torah and achdus are the best segula. Paras nishmat Yosef. Paras zchut that our family should be blessed with health. Simcha nachas for 120. Paras Hatzlocha zchut Yosef Miriam Rochel. Paras Elan Chaim Golan nishmat Batsheva Chaya bat Miriam. Paras nishmat Zechariah ben Moshe. Paras Refuah Shlema for Efraim Yehuda ben Tzivia. Surgery should go well today. Amen. And the Paras for the art. Yosef ben Chaya sorrow for the zchut that come from supporting limit torah. We're in the middle of a sugya. A minor, a ktana. She decided to get engaged without asking her father. Engaged. Kiddushin. She didn't ask anybody. What's the halacha? According to Shmuel, she needs two things. She needs a get and miyun. She has to refuse the Kiddushin and she needs a miyun. She needs a get. She needs a get. The get is the raisa, a miyun is the rabbana. And Kara says, I don't understand what's going on here. If she's married, if she's engaged, get. If she's not engaged, miyun. Why do you need both? Says you need get because maybe it is the raisa, maybe the father agreed to it. And you need miyun because maybe it's nothing. And if it's nothing, people see that she got a get, and they'll say, wait a minute, this woman was 100% married to this guy. And Mamela, when this guy went ahead and was Mekadesh her sister, it's zero. You can't be married to two women. From the fact that he gave a get, it was a good Kiddushin, it was the Eraisa, and she's a sister, and the sister is nothing, and somebody else is going to go marry her. But they can't marry her because she's really engaged to this guy that engaged the other sister. Here, if this helps. Here's a guy that goes ahead and gives, here, let's do this one. I think this is better. The father says, I didn't know about this. Okay? These, by the way, Yoshi did most of this, but I was at a commission last night and this morning again. I hope I'm better now. So some of this is me. And the bad stuff is me, because I'm not very good at the animation stuff and how it fits in. Anyways, this little girl on the left, I put in there. Now what's going on here is that since the guy with the hat was Makadesh, the girl in the coat, and let's say it's 0. Let's say 0. Why? Because the father didn't agree to it. 0. But he had to give her a get. He gave her a get. Yeah? He gives her a get. Now, what Yoshi did here is he showed the punching means, the miyun shows that the get is nothing. By me making this guy do miyun also, he's also showing that the get is 0. Why? Because if you take the get seriously, on the one hand, you have to take the get seriously because maybe the father agreed to the Kiddushin, so you need a get. But on the other hand, maybe she's not engaged at all. So I need to do something to show that the get is nothing. Because if I don't show that the get is nothing, what happens if this guy in the hat does Kiddushin to the girl that you could actually see her face? It could be 100% good Kiddushin. If he's engaged to the one in the coat, then it's 0. But if he's not engaged to the one in the coat, then it's 100% Kiddushin. But people see that you gave a get, that means that the one in the coat was a good Kiddushin. So they're going to say that what you did to the one without a coat is not a good Kiddushin. And somebody else is going to go marry the one without a coat, but she's Ish. She's really engaged to the guy with the hat. So to show people don't marry this one without a coat, what do? They say, make it miyun. Miyun shows that the get is nothing and that it's only the Rabban. Here it's a little bit counterintuitive, it's a little, okay. So now, Omer of Nachman, we're holding one line before it becomes wide. Omer of Nachman. Let me ask you a question, Rabbi side. Let me see a show of hands. Everybody be mishnata. Let's see. If a person's brother dies without children, and this woman falls liibum, she's a yavama, and he goes and he performs chalitza on that woman, could he marry that woman's sister? No. What is she? An achdus chalutza. Why can't he marry her? Isser d'iraisa or Isser d'Rabbanan? Rabbanan. Achdus chalutza is the Rabbanan? Who says the Rabbanan? Who says the Rabbanan? The Rabbanan, raise your hand. Only 4 people say it's the Rabbanan. The Raisa, raise your hand. Come on, where's the rest of you? You guys don't know? Don't know. If you say the Rabbanan, raise your hand. Nachamol. I'm not stopping until everybody raises their hand. The Raisa, Mendy. You think the Raisa? So raise your hand. The Raisa. Okay, so we're going to see it's only the Rabbanan. If I would have played the music till the end, you would have known. It was in the song. Omer of Nachman. This whole case that we're concerned, you see, the father is sitting on the side and he doesn't know, he does know, he cares, he doesn't care. It's only when they spoke about the shidduch, they went on a date. Now it's possible the father agreed to this chasana, to this kiddushin. But if not, if he never knew about this girl and one day he finds that a brisker guy got engaged to his daughter, of course it's nothing. Since she accepted Kiddushin without her father's consent, 0 should be 0. You don't even need to do a Rabbanon, nothing, 0. Ask the Gemara, Afagav the Shitchay. What? You don't need anything? What if the father agreed to it? They went out. There was a shidduch. There was a whatever shidduch is. They went out. But they spoke about it. Says Gemara, you're right. If you say that Rav Nachman says that there's a shidduch, then Ula didn't come and argue on that. So, and if you ignore Rav Nachman that there's a shidduch, so Ula says, listen, even miyun, you don't need. No. If there was no consent from the father, even if there's a shidduch, I don't care, I need the father's consent. There's no consent, it's 0 should be 0. Even if there's a shidduch. He does argue in that. Mazar Rav Kahana. Sunachamo. We have to take this Ula and put it into our heads. Ula says that a Ketana that goes ahead and she gets engaged without her father's permission, it's a big fat 0. Don't worry about it. She doesn't need a get, she doesn't need a meal, nothing. Mazar Rav Kahana. This is the first Mishnah in Yavamas. I believe it's the hardest Daf and Yevamis. Looking back, I might be mistaken. Just obviously, I don't remember Yevamis at all, but I remember that we didn't do a very good job on it on the first Mishnah. On the first Mishnah. No, but the first Mishnah in this was confusing and Noam fixed. His name was Yankel Beryl, and this one had this, what? And then we had okay. But once, and it's 15 different cases. But we're not going to talk about all these cases, obviously. We're going to talk about one case. We're going to talk about the case, the easiest case, daughter. So it goes like this. Again, I did this, and this is terrible, and maybe, by the way, Yosef, I don't think you should put this in until Yoshi wakes up or whatever and puts this all together. Not wakes up, but sometimes he takes if he's up the whole night, I don't know, I wasn't in communication with him. It's my problem. So it goes like this. I just threw, again, this little girl there on the bottom because she's a big part of this. This girl on the bottom is Shimon's daughter. I'm sorry. Yeah, Shimon's daughter. So it goes like this. Ruvain, that's above the girl on the bottom, is married to this girl on the bottom. He's married to his niece. It was very acceptable back in the day. We're even going to have a Ma'aseh Chaya in today's sugya. You used to marry your relatives. It's a good thing to marry your relatives, keep it in the family. So the uncle marries his niece. Now, very, very pashut. The uncle also marries somebody else, a 5-towner. Now, I couldn't even get the arrow that says married. He's married to 2 women. You see, Ruvain on top is married to the girl on the bottom and the woman next to him. Ruvain goes bye-bye. So it's a very simple halacha here. Shimon is the father of one of the women that fell to Yibum. Now both of these women fall to him because his brother didn't have any children. But because he cannot marry his own daughter, so he cannot marry the 5-towner either. So both of them go out without Yibum, without Chalitza. Okay? Here it says, you see those arrows came in, marry a daughter, okay? No Yibum, no Chalitza for any of them. Great. We'll have to fix it up a little bit. Says the Gemara, V'kulam emesu. But what if this daughter on the bottom died beforehand? Or she refused her marriage to the brother. Here, at this stage, you see this little girl on the bottom. While she's married to Ruvain, she decides she refuses the marriage to Ruvain. Or in his garage, she gets divorced from Ruvain. Or she names island. So it turns out that later on she was an island. She was never married to Ruvain. So her saying mutara is then if Ruvain goes bye-bye, then he could do yibum to the 5-towner. Says Gemara, the kachaman. What's going on here? What's the case? I want to have a kasha on Ula. Ula says that if she gets engaged by herself, it's 0. I'm going to prove to you it's not true. Because what's going on here? The kachaman, the kacha avia, if the father is the one who married her off to his own brother, b'miyon sagila. How could she refuse a marriage that her father did? Miyun, we know, is a refusal of marriage. It only takes effect when her mother married her, or her brother married her off, which is only the Rabbana marriage, so she can refuse it. But when a father marries off a daughter, there's no miyun because it's daraisa. Gemal yeboya. Miyun is not enough. You need a real get. Ela lav the kachi nafsha must be. Now maybe the father is dead, and she married herself off. We're talking about yibum here. We're talking about the father's alive. His own daughter fell to him liyibum. He's alive and well. So the father's alive, and he didn't marry her off. Because if he married her off, then miyun doesn't work, only get works. So what in the world happened here? Must say, he didn't marry her off. She married herself off. She went behind his back, she ran away from home, and she got married. And that's the case that we're talking about here. And Ula says it's a big fat 0. It's not a big fat 0. It says over here she needs miyun. It's a big cash on Ula. The Gemara says, no, I'll tell you. What happened was, this girl went through a lot in her life. Her father married her off when she was 7 years old. And she's completely married. Once she's completely married, she leaves her father's domain completely. Then her husband died. And then she got married again. This is her second marriage, and she's not even 12 years old. So in Bela, she needs miyun. Because nobody can marry off their rice now. Her father has no control over her. She was already married. Masrav Nuna. Okay, another question on Ula. New sugya. It's talking about a Amma Ivriya. You could sell your daughter as a Amma, but you should not sell her to your relatives. You could sell it to relatives. Why? Because that's the issue. So, if you're with us and you know, there's the concept of Yud. Yud is, you take Amma Ivriya, the master could marry the Amma. He has the right to marry her or to give her over to his son. Now, it has to be a type of mechira, a sale, that you could perform Yud. But if it's your relative, you can't do Yud. Why? Sometimes you could sell a Amma only for Amos and not for Yud. Tanakama holds that it needs to be royally Yud, and he says no. The Shavim, top of Amud Aleph, everybody agrees, that you could sell an almana, the father could sell an almana to a Kohen Gadol. But a Kohen Gadol cannot marry her. Where's the Yid over here? Okay, so you could. Why? Because yes, you're right, a Kohen can never marry an almana, but if he does, it grabs on. So that's enough, it catches. So that's enough for the parsha of Yid. It works for now. It's not, he's the over Isser, but it's Chal. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's Kiddushin. Whereas sometimes there's a marriage that doesn't work at all. Okay, but the point is, how is it possible that a father marries off an almana? If there was a full Kiddushin that the father did, how could a father sell her after he already mekadesh her? Right? In this Masechta we spoke about it. Now the halacha is that once a girl, he was mekadesh his daughter, he cannot sell her. He can only do one of the two. So this is a kasha anula. Why? This is our case where she ran away, she got engaged to herself. And you see over here that it does grab. There's something going on there. She's considered an almana. According to Ula, she's not an almana. She had zero relationship with that man. You cannot get engaged on your own. You need your father's consent. If the father gave consent and he married her off, then he never was able to sell her to the Kohen Gadol. Elomai, he had no consent. There's no consent. And she's considered an almana, and then he marries her to the Kohen Gadol. But you see, she's called an almana. No, we're talking about that the father sold her as an amma, and she got married to her boss, to her bailam, whatever you want to call him. Adain, thank you. She married her Adain. And there was consent from the father. The father sold her to this guy. No. So that goes back to the machlokes we had in this Masechta. When you purchase an amma, is in that money, is there Kiddushin money or there's zero Kiddushin money? If there's no Kiddushin money, so how does he marry her later on? Because he's Michael, all the work she has to do for him. But that has nothing to do with the father. The father never received anything in return of this Kiddushin. When he sold her just to work, not to be married. And Memela, what? We have a case where a father consented to marriage by selling her as an amma, yet he could still sell her again. She was married, and we said after marriage you can't sell. He didn't marry off. He didn't get any money from it. If he marries her off and he gets money, he can't sell her afterwards. But in this case, all he did was he sold her as an amma. He never received a dime for the Kiddushin. He agreed to the Kiddushin, but didn't get anything for it. Therefore, he could sell her, and therefore we don't have a kasha anula. There's no raya that when she does it on her own, something happens, she's called an amana. No, she didn't do it on her own. This is a case where the father sold her. It's not on her own. No kasha anula. Itmar. Mace. So she goes ahead. She gets engaged to a guy without her father even knowing about it. A runaway girl, runs away. She decides shmak idea, she's going to get married to some guy in the street. Father has no idea. And then this guy dies. Shtickle overdose, he dies. And then she falls liyibum. Listen to this. This is a barred lashon. Akopanim, she has to do miyun, and she doesn't have to do miyun if there's no maimer. What does it mean? So the Gemara explains. Ketzah. Also, by maimer, here's the case for boisa. Here's the case. So again, we have 3 brothers. They're the hatted guys today. We're not talking about the Baldwin brothers. We're talking about the hatted brothers. Okay, we have 3 brothers. One brother gives this youngster a ring. Okay, then he goes fifing. So now we have a big shaila here. What happened? Let's take it back a step. When he gave her the ring, is it a Kiddushin or not a Kiddushin? That's the whole sugi we had until now. Ula says it's 0. Rav says it's good. We don't know. He says, I don't know if it's good. Maybe you have to give a get. Maybe it's 100% good. Maybe it's 100% not good. Give a miyun. I don't know. So maybe she's married to this guy for a second. Maybe she's not married, engaged. But engaged, there's also yibum for engagement. Now, he goes bye-bye. Is she a real Yavama or not a real Yavama? I don't know. It could be she's not a Yavama at all. It could be she's 100% a Yavama. Comes this guy with a hat and does maimer. He gives her a ring. Maimer is only Kiddushin D'Rabbanan. But that automatically makes her usher on the guy all the way on the left. Okay? Now she's excluded to the guy on the left. So, here's the case inside. Ketzad, also by maimer. If the second brother, the guy that's alive still, does maimer, gives her Kiddushin, tzricha get, utzricha chalitza, utzricha miyon. She needs 3 things. Why? Tzricha get. She needs a get. So the second guy has to give her a get. Why? Because maybe the first guy's Kiddushin was a Kiddushin. And if the first guy's Kiddushin was a Kiddushin, then she's a true Yavama. She's a real Yavama. I'm sorry, yeah. And she's a real Yavama and Maimer works. On a real Yavama, you give her Kiddushin. Now you need, anytime, a regular Yibum case, if one of the brothers jumps in and gives her a ring, he has to do 2 things. He has to give her a maimer for the ring and chalitza for the yibum. A get for the maimer and chalitza for the yibum. And she also needs chalitza. Now she needs chalitza because she's a real yavama. Understanding. When the father, all the way in the top corner, right corner, he looks at this and he's heard about it, maybe agreed to the Kiddushin. So when her original chassan dies, she falls for a real deraisa yibum, and for that you need chalitza. Tzricha miyon, shemalin esratzav, levi kedusha rishon, levi kedusha sheni. This is svara that we said before. This is not new to us. That what? Maybe there's 0 going on here. Rashi says, I don't know why you have to say shemalin esratza to the rishon. Okay, the point is, maybe there's nothing going on here. Maybe maybe he didn't care about the first one. That's the main point here. And therefore the second one is nothing. Akopanim, if the father didn't agree, then there's no need for chalitza. There's no need. The maimer is 0. The chalitza is 0. She's not a yavama. Hold on. So then why do you need miyon? I need miyon to show that there's nothing. I don't want people to think that there's a deraisa going on over here. If there's a deraisa going on over here, then here you need chalitza, you need miyon. Oh, I thought I switched those around. Okay, I don't know why. I didn't get a chance to ask Yoshi why by miyon. Every time by miyon he did the thumbs down. I turned it around. Okay, akopanim. Let me just see. Oh, so here's the case. You have the sister of the girl in the coat. Now, if there's nothing going on here, if there's nothing going on here, yeah, people won't know that there's nothing going on here. Why? Because they're going to see that there's a get here, there's a chalitza here. So they say, oh, it's all deraisa. And all deraisa, the guy with his hat like this, he went and he was mekadesh, the girl on the left, the girl that has the X on her, the girl that you can see her face. And people are going to say, it's 0 Kiddushin, don't worry about it, ignore him, he's crazy. He goes around getting engaged to all these little girls, and you can't even get engaged to her because she's a sister of the first woman he married. But it's not true. He's not engaged to the first one. The first one was a 0. The father didn't agree to that. And if the father didn't agree to the first one, then his engagement to the second girl is a true engagement. And then what happens? The guy on the left, the Ben, I'm ignoring that because we're talking in torah now, and la'alacha, this is okay. So it's inappropriate to say that in this year. So what? No, it's inappropriate. The achdus chalutza is 100% engaged to the guy with the hat. Ben had no business marrying her. He can't marry. It's a deraisa. She's a ish. So what I have to do is I tell the guy with the hat, do miyun. Do miyun to show that there's no deraisa here. And if there's no deraisa, he wasn't engaged to the one on the right at all, not deraisa, nothing. And therefore, when he was mekadesh, the one on the left, it's chal. And Ben had no right marrying her. So people are not going to marry her. Again, tzricha miyun,
The less binding the initial, whatever, engagement, the more procedures needed to get out of it.
Correct. To show people. This is just a show, not to get out. It's a show. You don't need miyun to get out of anything. Miyun is just a big sign that says the first Kiddushin didn't work. And if he goes ahead and he gets engaged, the second one is a problem.
That's a mimer of the second brother who knocks out the third brother. Automatically show that there's something, otherwise why would the other brother get knocked out?
What?
If you go back one slide, the guy gets mimer.
Yeah.
Then it automatically knocks out the other brother.
Only if she's a yavama.
Correct. I'm saying, so why do we automatically knock him out? That should prove that she's the yavama. Otherwise, why would he get knocked out?
But we don't know if she's a yavama. Me and you don't know if she's a yavama. Nobody knows if she's a yavama. We don't. Why? Why misafek?
Because you're saying that because the mimer, if the mimer counts.
The mimer only counts if she's a yavama. She might not be a yavama at all.
That's what
maybe it's Kiddushin.
Oh, so he's saying that's a different question. So maybe that's what he's asking. That if it's the Miman of Shach, either it's a Maimer or a Kiddushin, should work as Kiddushin. But he was only doing it as a Maimer. He said, first, I'm doing it to chap. I don't want my brother to chap you. I want to chap you as a Maimer Shabbat. Okay.
So you gave her a ring. You gave her a ring.
Correct, but for what reason?
Remember, you don't have to give a ring. You just say it.
No, you have to give a ring. It's Kiddushin. It's Mamish, you have to give kesef. Anyway, Tzricha Mion Shemal Yisrael Zav Lem Kiddushin Rishon Lem Kiddushin Sheni Yoimru and Kiddushin Toivsim Ba'Choy. So fine. So that's that. Now, Lo Yasav Maimer. What if he didn't give her a ring? And it's Tzricha Lo Chalitza B'Vad. So now nobody's gonna think anything. All you need to do is give her chalitza. Why? Because maybe she's a yivama. For that, you give chalitza. Maybe you should say for the same svar that we said before. Maybe we should make a show here and show that nothing happened. Oh, hakol yoidim. Hakol yoidim. You hear that? Over here in this year, we didn't have a hakol yoidim. But everybody should know that a chois chalutza derabanan. So nobody's going to think that the brother that did chalitza can't get married to the sister. They say, oh, listen, it's only the rabbanon. Maybe you could get married. Maybe it works. Kolpanim again. So this is a shayla in Yedis Hashas. Hakol yoidim achois chalutza the rabbanon. If you perform chalitza on a woman, the only reason why you can't marry her sister is not because she's a chois chalutza d'oraisa. Chois chalutza the rabbanon. It's only as the rabbanon. The Rosh Lakish, Kanshana Rebbe, we had a problem with steering Rebbe, Kanshana Rebbe, Achos Grusha, right? Midaraisa, Achos Chalutza, Midivrei Seifrim. Story time. Hanu Beitrei, Davako Shasu Chamra, to say Tzipei Bevavel, the two people who were drinking wine under, listen, Rabbi Isai, a kiss from Hashem, an arava tree. At least a willow tree. It's not so much an arava tree as much as a willow, but it's in the family of aravas. According to the first Pshat Rashi. What happened was, the way I understand it, it's possible that there's two people that they had children in Shidduchim, and maybe one of the guys, his son, wanted to marry the daughter. So he decided to invite his friend over under a tree, and they started drinking Gishmak. And they were drinking it up, everything's good. Now, Shokachad Minayu calls the Chaim at the end, he wanted that final cup, he wanted that buzz. He says, and he gives it to his friend, Omar Mikatzli Bratak Lebri. Let's do a deal. You want this cup of wine? I'll give it to you. But you have to guarantee me that your daughter is going to marry my son. Rav and Shmuel say that it's possible that if there's no consent from the daughter, it's possible that the father agrees to it. I'm sorry, there's no consent from the father. And the daughter gets engaged. It's possible that the father agrees to it. Amud Beis, so Rashi goes in like this. It's possible that the father looked, in the typical case, the first case that we're discussing, father sees his daughter getting engaged to somebody, says, you know what, what do I hear all the shidduch crisis going on there and this and that. She went in, she found, I'm not so happy about it, but it's better than nothing. Let her get engaged, fine, I'm asking. Maybe Rav and Shmuel say that. But no one will ever say that the son will agree to that. Why? Says Rashi, the son is going to look into it much more. It doesn't have the svar of Tavla Meis of Tandu and Meis of Armalu. Daigvin Insav. I don't know what it was. They were saying in Koilel, this Maisa, they said a story, they said Daesh, is Daesh. I think it was. Is there a Rebbe called Daesh? Not Dash. Daesh. That's what it was. I think it was him or something like that he was in a store, and he, of course, was makbid on Shemir Sinai. I wasn't looking, and he wanted to buy like a melon. Well, so he walks into the store, and he looks around the melons, and he walks out. So the girl working in the store says, she used the lashon from Yaakov Avinu. Tzadik zeh bala beisi. What's the lashon? Bala meloini v'yipoter beloy klum v'yipoter beloy lina. Tzadik zeh bala meloini v'yipoter beloy lina. So she screams out, Tzadik zeh bala meloini. He came to get a melon from me. V'yipoter beloy klum, and he's going to walk out without anything. So he looked up to see who she is, and he says, "Oh, there! I just looked at this girl." So he goes to the Rebbe, and I think the Yismach Moshe, they said. He went to the Yismach Moshe. They said, that's it. You're over. You have to marry her. So he went back. That was the Maisa. He ended up marrying this girl because he was nichshal in. So anyways, I just thought, no, the line was good. From her, I thought that line was very good. Tzadik zeh bala meloini, v'yipoter beloy klum. Upon him, this was a case of not being medayik so well. But typically speaking, why should the shidduch work? Who says the boy agrees? Maybe in the far-fetched case that the girl did it herself without her father's consent, the father will be masking to it because Tava Meis Tandu. But no way would a son agree that his father should marry him off. So I had a lot of fun with the bells. I said, "No, how did you get married?" Yeah, my father married me off. How did that work? He says, "I'll tell you that by the engagement, like right before I got engaged, my shver came over to me and he says, "No, is it a good shidduch?" He says, "That's not for you to ask. That's my father to ask. That's my something like that." I go upon him. I said, "No, how do you fit into the Gemara?" Azoy is. It says over here, it's not the regular thing. Father doesn't mishadach the kid. Okay. Oh, I have to do the sponsors. But hold on a second. Okay, the son doesn't, but, so of course the Chassidim will say that they send the father as a shliach. Yeah, trust him 100%. So Memela, that's what happened. What do you mean? You think it was stam under the tree, they're drinking? There was a plan to get the guy shtickle drunk. And he said, "You want to marry, it's great shidduch, my daughter." Yeah, great shidduch. But the son wanted it. Listen to this. You believe it? A son is not chutzpahdik enough to tell his father to be a shliach. Today's generation is much different. Today, like, hey, dad, do my laundry, whatever it is. I don't know. But you don't have the chutzpah to tell your father, you go and get that be mishadach for me. Do it yourself, whatever that means. We have no musig in this stuff. Okay. I'll go upon him. Okay. For all those that need Refuah Shlema, and by Kidnovations, in honor of my uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman, and as zchut for a year filled with maz, broch, Hatzlocha, and parnas, for all of them, the white family. Says the Gemara, V'dil ma'artzi yartzi kamei. Oh, V'dil ma'artzi yartzi kamei. Maybe mitam zchia. Maybe. Oh no. So over here, this is what it is. Over here, the son told the father, "Not I want her." And Memela, the father became a shliach by himself. And Zachal Adam Shalei B'Fanav. Ravina, who's saying this? Right? Ravina himself. Just he doesn't even hold of Rav Shmuel that we have to be concerned that the father agrees to shidduch that the daughter does on her own. So certainly we don't have to be concerned over here when the son is involved. Says the Gemara, this guy went ahead in the middle of the marketplace, and we said, if you eat in the middle of the marketplace, you're like a dog. So he goes in the middle of the marketplace and he gives this girl a bundle of carrots, whatever, shvacha, vegetables. So, and now without the ratzon of the father. Even if you say like Rav Shmuel that the father might agree to this, if you do it like a mensch, not like this. What was the bezayin exactly? Bezayin the arka, was it with what he was mekadesh or where? Bezayin the shuka. What if he gave her a 12 carat ring in the middle of the marketplace? Is that okay? Or bekisha the arka bezayin. What if he did it in a beautiful hall but with a bundle of vegetables? It's a double negative. You have the fact that it's in the middle of a marketplace where he did it, in the middle of a busy place. And I think today, the people get engaged in the middle of you surprise the girl in the middle of Chveis Neshvas on a cruise, in front of that. It's normal. Fine. Depends who and where. Huh? What? Each one, over here did both. Over here is a double, but each one by itself is considered a bezayin. They had a fight between a husband and wife. They had a very mutzachdik daughter, and the husband, wanted her to marry his family. Your family, of course, have all the defects and the terrible DNA, and she said the same thing about him. My family is the good family, your family is the terrible one. Right? But you see that was normal to marry off to the relatives. Kafte, this is also very normal. She forced him into it, and he agreed he had to be mevated to her. Yeah, in Gan Eden, there was 100 men, and they said, all the men that were ruled by their wives go to the right. So 99 men went to the right. So they go to this guy on the left. He says, how come you didn't go to the right? He says, because my wife told me to stand there. Now I'm going to get an email from that lady again. I hope she's not watching. 50s joke, 1950s joke.
She should have watched.
Okay. V'omer lekriva. Kafte. She forced him into it. Ad omer la tevi lekriva. Okay, fine. You know what? Your relatives say that. So they go and they make a big suda. They invite all the guests. We're going to have an engagement party. Tonight, we're going to announce who it is. At the Achla B'Shasa, everybody comes in and they're engaged, and the mazel tov to Mendi on the engagement. The Shasa also krive b'igra v'kacho. Comes the relative, his relative, and jumps in there and is mekadesh the daughter in the attic. And of course, the wife is on the bottom screaming, I told you he's a creep. I told you shouldn't stay away from him. Kitzer. That's what happened. So now what? Omer Abayo, Ksiv. Now we have to be choshesh. Maybe the father, deep down inside, he really wanted that shidduch. He's very happy. He likes the creep. That's the one he wanted her to marry to begin with. The wife, he agreed to do the wife's stam because he was forced. Omer Abayo, Ksiv, She'eris, Yisrael, Lo Yasu Avlo. Klai Yisrael doesn't do anything wrong like that. They're not going to lie. The father's not going to lie. No, there's another thing here. Since the father was matriach to make this engagement party for the other one, he's not happy with this new shidduch. My benayu, what if there's no suda? Interesting. The Gilyon Hashas says over here in the back, he says that we know from Baba Metzia Daf Memches that Rava also agrees to this pasuk. In fact, he's even stronger than Abai in this pasuk. But he says, in this case, since the father really, really wanted the shidduch with his own, let's say his brother or whatever, so he'll do some arma. Under the table, so Mela, that's why Rava comes up with another svara over it. She got engaged with her father's consent, But she got engaged with consent, but didn't get married with consent. And she got married to this guy that her father agreed. You hear the shaila? The father wanted her to get engaged, but he never said get married to him. So I don't know exactly what. Maybe the father wanted to get this money for Kiddushin, and the guy is 95 years old. He's hoping he's going to drop dead. He'll never marry his daughter, and he'll get all this money. I don't know exactly. But fine. That's what happened. L'maisa, there was in the Rishonim, they talk about it, I think the Balma'ar, the Ramah brings it down also, that a guy, he set his sight on this woman that was dying. And she was very wealthy, so he bedafke married her, so that if she dies a couple days later, he'll chop her money. And the Ramah says, you can't just bring a woman in a wheelchair, if she's not Royal Bia, it's not a chup at all, it goes into the whole thing, it's a farce. And unbelievable, because I was just talking to my chavrus about it, and then somebody overheard and he said, you know, that here in Bet Shemesh, this mamish a week ago or so, a guy just got married within the month. He got married to a 20-something-year-old girl who's mamish very, very sick, but he had a machla before. He did it like a chesed, I don't know exactly why. He just married her, and within the Sheva Brach, she was already in the hospital, and 2 weeks later she was nifter. Mamish now. The sign's up. It's Verona and Gefner, he said the names were. Up everywhere. Yeah, you heard this mice also. This he didn't do. He chesed shalom. I don't want anybody. He did not do it for the money. He did it for the chesed. He decided he had rachmanas and she wanted to get married, and that was it. Obviously, he didn't think it's going to last for 2 weeks. He thought a year, 2 years, whatever. Yeah, what?
It was a month, and he married her. They were dating for like 3 months.
They dated for 3 months, and then what? The marriage lasted for a whole month. A month. Okay. When was she nifta? How long ago? 2 weeks ago. Okay. Sham should have an aliyah. So, Omarav, now she got married without her father's permission. Mistama, the father's happy with this marriage, so let her eat truma if she's married to a kohen. You cannot eat truma. Why? Because maybe he'll come and say it wasn't a marriage, and it's a problem. Says the Gemara, Hava Uvda, v'choshla Rav l'hoda Ravasi. Rav, who says you could eat truma, but lemaisa, when it came down to it, he said no, Ravasi might be right, and let's not let her eat truma. So I think there's a very interesting Taisus Kedai to see her for a second, and then we can finish. Near Dalach Ravasi, the Hava Uvda v'choshla Rav l'hoda Ravasi. 2 Taisus in the bottom. Near Dalach Ravasi, the Hoda Rav. Rav went back with Ravasi. No, that looks like Rav. Ravasi was Rav's Talmud. So Tais says a big yisoder. Anytime a Rav and a Talmud argue, says Tais, until Abai and Rava, the Rebbe is always right. After Abai and Rava, you go after to the later ones. A Tais that everybody should remember. When a Rav and a Talmud argue with each other, after Abai and Rava's generation, the halacha is like the Talmud, because then the Talmud is going to be more medayik in the halacha. Are we finished here? Can we stop here? We have to just finish. We'll go back to it. Rabbi, have a wonderful day.